welcome to Americans Learn. My name is Lauren, and today I am looking at a BlueJay video. It's a new one, always fun for me. This one is absurd inventions that should not exist. No idea what's going to happen in this particular episode, but it's going to be a lot of fun. There's a lot of things that it's like, there are things I was like, why? Why is that? Why? For whence? For what purpose? Also, that's a bad purpose. So I'm curious to see what BlueJay is going to come up with. I don't really want to waste too much time. You want to get kind of to it? Don't forget to make sure that you hit the like button if you want to see more stuff like this, and comment. Tell me what specifically I should be looking at. And without any further ado, let us begin.
This video is sponsored by War Thunder. It's the 6th century BC, ancient Greece, and the inventor Perilos was going to impress the king. Like any good inventor, Perilos recognized the niche that needed to be filled. Tyrants often found themselves with a bunch of prisoners in need of a good old flick on the off switch, and these executions needed to be as horrific as possible to dissuade would-be ne'er-do-wells. So how could one go about burning delinquents alive while making the spectacle fun for the whole family? Perhaps we could burn the criminals inside of something that was—
Okay, so this is... Okay, I thought this was going to be things that were just kind of ridiculous. We're starting out with human brains need to be stopped. Yeah, we're monsters. Okay, it's how we're starting this video. Lovely.
Much nicer to look at than charring flesh. Well, if we learned anything from Fisher-Price toys, it's that kids love their animals. But if we learned anything else, it's also that the bull doesn't go, "It burns! It burns!" So after snapping some synapses of his sinister little Satan cerebrum, he invented the brazen bull, a bronze statue of a bull that sits over a fire with just enough space inside for some criminal stew. However, the real human meat and potatoes of the device was in the statue's snoot, an acoustic series of tubes that would convert the screams of the poor ingredients inside into a sound like the bellows of a bull. With his prototype complete, Perilos pitched his beast to the ruthless King Phalaris of Acrogos, claiming the screams of the condemned would bring pleasure to his ears. And I guarantee you, the screams of the damned coming out of this puppy will be sick as hell. No way. Yeah way. Check it. Holy shit, that's awesome! Guards, put that on a repeat for me. What? Disgusted by Perilos' description of the device, Phalaris tricked Perilos by asking him to demonstrate the horns, locking him inside, and setting fire underneath the bull to hear the inventor's quite genuine demonstration. Before getting too medium well, the tyrant's tender heart decided to show mercy.
Oh, you let him out?
Perilos from the brazen bull and throwing him off a cliff. The tale of the brazen—
Okay, well that's better. Better than maybe better? I guess dying of a broken neck is probably better than dying of being burned to death. Like, okay, good. Fuck him. Get him out of here. Yeah, absolutely. Tyrant made a good choice. The tyrant guy, the king, whatever, made a great choice getting rid of that guy. You don't want him. That's awful. You don't want him coming up with something worse next time if you let him live. Oh my god.
Bull is difficult to verify and very well could have been more legend than fact.
I mean, it was
However,
the 6th
the lessons
century
it teaches
BC,
are all
so
too
yeah.
real. Now, Jeff, tell me, what was Perilos' biggest mistake here? Whoa, dude, his edible's really kicking in. That's right, he didn't file for a patent. A patent would have given Perilos intellectual property over his brazen bull, and thus make it illegal for third parties, like the king, to use his device without his permission. In short, if you're gonna deal with devils, make sure you do it in their language. The letter of the law. The light of redemption shines upon my face from above. I climb as my mortal shadow clings to my soul. Jesus, man, what the fuck did you take? Here. Hell yeah, now it's a party. Dude, no, it's water. God, I can't believe I'm saying this, but I think I'm just gonna let you sit this one out and rest. Ain't no rest for the wicked. Anyway,
So I thought he was gonna have a joke there, but like, oh wait, that wasn't water, it was Drano or something. Like, I really thought that he was gonna put something else. Is this anyway, I thought that was gonna be the joke, but we're talking Nikola Tesla now, so that means we're talking death rays.
Inventors around the world, patents are the must-have piece of paper for granting them ownership over whatever gadgets or gizmos they can puke out of their imagination.
I was like, I imagine we're gonna talk about the death ray, but we should also talk about how certain other inventors, Edison, stole so many of Tesla's ideas.
However, even if they existed around the time of Perilos, you're unlikely to be able to patent something as overtly unethical as a human crockpot murder statue.
Yeah, Well.
But that doesn't mean there's not gray areas. So today, we're gonna learn about the inventors that really pushed the moral envelope and created some of history's most ethically questionable patents.
Seen that baby cage before, so maybe we won't talk about Nikola Tesla. Especially, I hide a BlueJay penny.
Back in 1927. Oh, sorry, that must be my wife. Hey honey, what's up?
She wants me to talk about her small business! You're married to an F-16? Hey, she's an F-14!
War Thunder is the most comprehensive vehicle combat game ever made, and not only can you fuel your god complex by obliterating losers with over 2,500 tanks, planes, helicopters, and ships, but you can do it for free on PC, console, or your phone. With everything from biplanes and armored cars to fighter jets and battle tanks from across 10 different nations, War Thunder offers incredible graphics, mechanics, and sound effects to really immerse you into the battle.
It's been a while since I've seen a War Thunder ad.
They've got an arcade mode, which is my personal favorite, for all that fast-paced goodness. Craving more realism? Daddy's got you covered.
He's got a
Just boot up the simulator mode for realistic physics and a proper challenge. Still not real enough for you? Just hop on social media and wait for someone to leak classified military documents. There's truly a game mode for
I can't believe they let him put that in there. I really can't believe they let him talk about that.
everyone. Join a massive community of over 70 million players today in War Thunder using my links in the pinned comment or video description. New and returning players that haven't played in 6 months on PC or console will also receive a bonus pack of premium vehicles, the Eagle of Valor decorator, 100,000 silver lions, and 7 days of premium account time. It's available for a limited time only, so be quick. And now, back to the video. In 1927, there once was a bright mind in California who shared a hobby with yours truly. Punishing naughty boys. Helene Adelaide Shelby was on a mission to solve the problem of the high number of retracted confessions plaguing the criminal justice system. What good was arresting naughty little boys if so many of them evaded being chained up in a cell, Helene thought. Therefore, our hero decided to target this issue at its source, the interrogation room. Questioning culprits with your run-of-the-mill detective was so 1910s fashion after all, so she found herself pondering a question we all have from time to time. What if, instead of a random dude in a button-up threatening them with some measly prison time, the culprits feared for their mortal soul instead? Behold, the future. The suspect, believed to have killed a man in cold blood, nervously inches his way into a dark room, the door slamming shut behind him. The space before him is chillingly empty, save for a single curtain draped over the far wall. His breath catches and heart pounds as chains clink taut, lifting the curtain and revealing his guilt. The skeletal remains of the very man he murdered, standing once more before him. A shroud of ominous light radiates from the bloodlusted red light bulbs in his eyes. Wait a minute, light bulb? But before he can question further, his hair stands on end as he suddenly hears a winding, painful churn emanate from the corpse, sounding suspiciously like a tape recorder.
It is I, Michael Dahlman. Confess to your crimes.
Could I just have a lawyer?
Okay, girl. I mean, I get what you're going for here, like, you know, but, I mean, it's a bit of a long shot. I do get what she's going for here. I do understand something, you know, get them to confess by, like, revealing their, but what if it was, but if it wasn't them, first of all? Too, like, where'd you get the skeleton?
Fuck.
Helene filed a patent for an apparatus for obtaining criminal confessions and recording them. In essence, it was a lie detector, consisting of a skeleton in a dark room with spooky lighting and red light bulbs for eyes. With a megaphone and film camera in its skull, Helene's goal was to induce a supernatural experience to work upon the suspect's imagination.
You would definitely have to drug them up a little bit first, right? Like, you would have to make them in a place where they might actually believe that this is happening. Also, what if they didn't murder somebody? What if they were in, like, for robbery or something like that?
And cause them to spontaneously confess to their crimes. And honestly, not a terrible idea. After all, the fear of supernatural punishment works for Catholic boys in confessional booths, but that was because of a different kind of bone. Now, is it immoral to patent a device whose primary function is essentially psychological torture? Sure, but that's only a problem if you're using it on people. These are criminals. But regardless, there doesn't seem to be any evidence that this was ever actually built and used, which is probably a blessing in disguise as it's pretty much the poster child for a coerced confession. Criminals aren't quite people, as we've learned, but believe it or not, they are still good for one thing. Their bodies. No, I don't just mean the bountiful slave labor they provide for pennies on the dollar in the land of the free. I'm talking about their corpses. With medical schools booming post-American Civil War, the study of anatomy and dissection on cadavers was growing in demand. And if you were one of the up-and-coming surgical students looking to slice and dice in a way that suffice, you needed a steady supply of legal corpses in the form of donors or executed criminals. But unfortunately for them, the demand had begun to outpace the supply for corpses, so it looks like they're shit out of luck.
And
what's that, Timmy? Oh, sure, go for it. Oh, well, this solves everything. The illicit body snatching trade was at an all-time high in the late 1800s, providing perfect, albeit slightly decomposed bodies for all your student slicing needs. And so naturally, this also opened a market for the anti-body snatching trade. Enter Philip K. Clover, an Ohio artist who got to work theorizing ways to shoot body snatchers in the foot.
Okay, so this was used, if we're talking about the thing that I think he's talking about, with like the pistols that were like rigged up, so when you like hit the wire or whatever and they get shot when you're trying to steal a body.
Shoot them in the foot. Introducing the Coffin torpedo. Patented in 1878, the invention sought to, quote, prevent the unauthorized resurrection of dead bodies. To do this, an explosive would be rigged underneath the coffin lid with a tripwire, so that when a would-be thief took a gander inside, they'd be met with a mouthful of lead pellets.
Oh my god, but what happens to the body that, like, I feel like if the point was to, you know, be respectful to the dead person, then you can't put the explosive in the coffin. You have to do it around it, right? So that way only the resurrectionist guy gets hurt.
Increasing the body count in the grave. Why bother trying to change a criminal's heart when you can just remove it? Obviously, this would be an excellent deterrent for any aspiring grave robbers. You know, so long as you're careful about when you set it. Hey, it's supposed to be an open casket.
Wait! Jeffrey! No!
Hey, it's supposed to be an open casket.
Wait!
There was also the grave torpedo, patented in 1881, but instead of a 12-gauge makeover hidden inside the coffin lid, this one was pretty much just a landmine buried above the coffin. A pretty brutal deterrent, only made more fitting by the ominous advertisement for the device stating, "Sleep well, sweet angel, let no fears of ghouls disturb thy rest, for above thy shrouded form lies a torpedo, ready to make minced meat of anyone who attempts to convey you to the pickling vat." A description that comes off a little too eager for gore, in my opinion, so I wouldn't be surprised if this guy spent many a night hiding in cemeteries to see if his device worked.
Right?
Oh boy, here they come! So, this is it?
Yeah, I can't believe it. We did it, George. We finally found my father's grave after 10 long years. I'd just about given up hope, but I knew how much he wanted me to have the Peters family locket that he was buried with. It's been in our family for 145 years, after all. Myself and my 8 young children, all under the age of 9, half of which who have disabilities, will be so thrilled to have this locket back in our family. I'm their only source of support left after the tragic passing of their mother and all of our extended relatives in a series of horrific accidents. They could really use a pick-me-up. Speaking of, can you help me pick this up?
It's unclear how widespread these devices were in their time, but there were reported cases of them killing or injuring a number of robbers. However, innovations in refrigeration would soon curb the corpse supply problem, so these devices would be rather short-lived. And good thing they were, because I doubt OSHA would be too fond of having cemetery workers basically stare a live Victorian claymore in the face as they carefully lower it 6 feet into the ground without any sudden movements.
I wonder if there's any of them still kind of floating around in like old graveyards, you know, like, you know, I'm just, because they haven't gotten rid of all the mines from World War II is all I'm saying. So like, if they haven't gotten rid of those guys, maybe there's still some of these floating around.
But enough about people at the end of their lives. What about the beginning? The wonder of childbirth is said to be one of the most beautiful moments you can ever experience. I don't say that. I find it C tier at best, but maybe we can make it better. Have you ever been
F-
giving birth and thought to
F
yourself, not enough G-force? Well, back in the 1960s, George and Charlotte Blonsky sought to spin things up in the baby delivery meta by literally spinning the woman up, submitting a patent for a, quote, apparatus for facilitating the birth of a child by centrifugal force. Seeking to reverse the decline in both infant and maternal mortality rates, the idea was to strap an expectant mother to a table shaped like a foreshadowing crucifix, pull a lever, and then spin the poor woman on the most painful day of her life until the baby pops out into a net, delivering a baby and giving it its first crib.
I was like, I mean, that's a way to give fetal, like, shaken baby syndrome or something. Like, what if it smashes into a wall? Like, what? What? This is, oh my gosh, Blonskis. Look, I get that, like, you're kinky, right? Maybe leave it out of the pregnancy, okay? Like, Jesus Christ.
Now that's what I call killing two birds with one stone. Except the birds are people. And a mother and child. Now, you might imagine the Blonsky couple must have come up with this idea based on their own childbirth experiences. No, they were childless. Instead, they got the idea from a zoo, where they watched an elephant spinning around in labor. Wow. Nature is beautiful. Sir, do they always do that? What? Oh yeah, like, that's just nature. Supposedly, they were told by the zookeeper that this was something elephants do all the time before giving birth, which, by the way, is just not true? I couldn't confirm that anywhere in my research, so that guy was probably just fucking with them. And thank God he did.
Or just making something up because he's the zookeeper and he was expected to know. People do that all the time. I make stuff up at work a lot, especially about the wine. Not if it's about something that's like, well, I'm allergic to red. I'm like, well, I can tell you this is a white wine. But not knowing what you're allergic to in the red wine means I can't tell, this is not a red. But like, there are things where I'm just like, no, absolutely. I know, it's got like a little bit of a fruity note. There's nutmegs, like it's a nutmeg sort of taste. Like, I don't know. I make stuff up all the time, especially when I'm talking about, like I said, wine. Because people ask. I've also made up a few things about the country of Georgia, I think. Or like, people will ask something and I'll be like, oh, I mean, blah, 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 blah. And then like, I'm like, that was actually not right. I fully lied about that. Oops. Usually about like a vocabulary word or something. It's like, anyway, ignore me.
Because it ended up
And my
giving me
lying
excellent
ways.
YouTube content. They believed a device like this was necessary because, as they put it, civilized women did not have the musculature present in more primitive women, who had easy and pain-free childbirths. Because what is a 1960s patent without a wee bit of racial undertones? I'm sure there's probably a few
And also sexist undertones. Well, sexist and racist, kind of. Like,
going through your minds. Like, what if it doesn't spin fast enough to get the baby out? No, it will. It got up to 7 Gs of force. For reference, that's as much as Apollo 16 experienced on re-entry of Earth's atmosphere. This would essentially turn your precious newborn into a 54-pound medicine ball desperately pushing to rupture the walls of your womb. Other features include an emergency brake for safety or comedic effect, and a bell to announce the joyous occasion and signal the end of the ride. It's reported that this device was never used, and no babies were born this way, although I believe we have evidence that proves otherwise. At the end of the day, the fetus fidget spinner was truly ahead of its time, as I can 100% see this device selling well in our current environment, given some slight modifications. Alright, ma'am, you ready for the happiest day of your life? Yes, I'm just happy this should make the process quick. Not too quick, though. Try to hold on for about 27
I like that they're in like the eye doctors right now. I was looking to see if there was a joke in the eye chart, but I don't think so. Also, I'm like, what does that say? It's Okay, my eyes aren't that bad yet. They are. That's a lie. They're terrible.
Seconds for me, and aim for black. The father's white. Place your bets, folks, place your bets. Betting ends in 25 seconds. $50 on red, 100 on first 12. It's coming! You better hold it in or I'm charging the payouts to your medical bill. The Wheel of Misfortune was awarded the Ig Nobel Prize posthumously in 1999, a parody award of the Nobel
Worse.
Prize. Because after all, an idea doesn't have to be good to get a patent, it just has to be new. But I can't imagine there are any ideas going through your head right now, Jeff. Jeff? Oh, I gave you lean.
See, I knew there would be, I don't know what that is, but like, I knew that it was coming. I was like, it's purple, you know? I knew it. I knew it. I was just 10 minutes early.
Yeah, that's not gonna help someone who's about to OD. You really shouldn't have drank that. What, he's
Yoink.
not gonna use it? Besides, I
Fair.
need his username and password for War Thunder. Make sure to check them out on PC, PlayStation, Xbox, or on your phone for free using my links below. Anyone who hasn't played in 6 months will get a massive bonus pack on PC and consoles, including premium vehicles,
So tell
100,000
me what
silver
lean is,
lions,
'cause
and
I don't
7
know and I
days
don't
of
wanna
premium
look it
account
up.
time. Anyway, there were a ton of these patents out there, so let me know in the comments if you want a part 2. Immoral
Yeah,
patents.
let's
10
go.
out of 10 stars.
The worst things ever? Absolutely. I want to see more of those. That's great. Just, you know, I really thought that Nikola Tesla's death laser would be on there, but I don't remember. I think he probably patented that. There's a lot of things that I know he didn't patent that Edison stole. So I know there's that. But I don't know. In any case, this isn't about Nikola Tesla. I dressed up as him one time, though. Anyway, thanks so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. I always like the BlueJay videos. They're so much fun. They're ridiculous. And I kind of adore his sadism. It's like, it's very funny. But anyway, thanks so much for watching. And if you want to see more stuff like this, go ahead, let me know by hitting the like button, subscribing if you haven't already, letting me know in the comments what to look at next. And I will see you. Oh yeah, and also in the comments, tell me what lean is. And then I'll see you in the next one.